off a couple. He's still going. Butler over in the corner. That's the line, over the line he rolls. Burnside, Brenta. Okalita to turn it over. Oh, he's got it again. He's got to go. Spry will do very well. Spry will go. Port Adelaide will push out, and they will push on to So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Elizabeth, a much nicer Elizabeth than the one we had last weekend. The sun has come out. It is the last day of winter today, and we are getting ready for our first qualifying final. I think they're calling these ones. This is Port Adelaide taking on Adelaide University. The winner of this one will go through and play in the grand final on the 14th of September. The runner-up in this one will find themselves playing again next weekend. So it is all to play for today. My co-commentators, both of them are involved in a game. Both of them are involved in a game over on that far pitch. So I am flying solo at the moment. Port Adelaide in their traditional black and white hoops. Adelaide University in their very traditional all black jerseys as we get ready for this one. Of course, Port winning the right to play in this one by coming 6th in the league, so top of the second half of the table. So they had a weekend off last weekend, so they should be absolutely cherry ripe. University came through a game against Woodville last weekend, winning that one. And Port will have first bite of the cherry. Daniel Lamble lays it back. See whether we see what we normally see from Port, just keeping hold of the ball as long as possible, and just as I say that, Tuivasa will knock it on and we'll see the first scrum of the game. Adelaide University side, they just did what they needed to do last week. Matt Mooney at half-time saying just be where you need to be. 5 minutes to go with the game. And an early stoppage. Tuivasa, I can see the blood on his hand already. Just on his hand, hopefully it's just a little one. They wouldn't want to be making a change this early. So he will come off it, hopefully it's not one of those webbing ones. If you get a cut on your webbing, it's going to take you a while, but it's an early introduction to the game for Falatolu. He'll just slot into that number 13 spot. So scrum directly in front of us. So Uni will win the first scrum of the day. Out to Mooney. Mooney goes early and is met hard by Metcalf. No full arm bang to a penalty. And Mooney will send it down towards the Port Adelaide try line. So joined by Mr. Cross. Welcome to the commentary position.
Thank you very much, Dave. Great to be here on sunny day.
Yeah, we'll get your microphone unmuted in a minute, but it'll be a line out to Adelaide. Looks like Simon Redfern's just gone with the standard facial hair today. Well, it looks like he's grown the other one, and to be honest, and I'll try and get to you, Disanyaki. We'll send it back, and Adelaide University just looking to build. We saw them be very, very patient and very, very slow last week. Worked for them though. So we'll have another go at it. A big penalty advantage, but at the moment Uni don't need it, just trying to burrow the way through. And Uni will take first blood. It's like the number 5 for Uni, that's Mahoney coming up with it, and welcome. We'll have another go at it. Welcome, Mr. Cross.
Thank you, Dave. Great to be here on a beautiful sunny day down in Elizabeth. Great free-flowing rugby, and we've just seen Uni just picking up the pace a bit to grind out a nice try.
Just trying to have a look at it. You were just involved in the reserve grade game over there.
I was involved in the sideline, very vocally. I played in the 3rd grade game earlier. It just narrowly went down to the boys from Onkaparinga, so well done to them, straight through to the grand final. And now the Old Coles 2nd grade have just done the same thing with the golden ticket.
Oh, I like that, the golden ticket.
It's the golden ticket game.
Yeah, it is the golden ticket game. Especially for the likes of Port Adelaide and later on Brighton, who could make a grand final by playing only 1 game, which is a good start, but University doing their best to upset that party. Interesting, everybody missed that. They could have charged that down if they wanted to, but nobody's on board at the moment. And we get to see Tom Ralph again with his distinctive kicking style.
It's a good squat to begin it.
Flags will stay down. Our officiating crew today, Graham Raymond is in the middle. Paul Ridley on this near side, and Phil Jones over on that far side. Because we talked last week about South and the fact that South had a lot of A-graders who played reserves, and then the second one, got to take your hat off to the officials as well. They'll be doubling up and doing a fair amount of work over this weekend.
The whole weekend, yeah, it's absolutely huge for them. We need many more referees and people to put their hand up for the job.
It's perfect. That year that you think you can't take the physical contact anymore, put a whistle in your mouth. So Uni with hands on the ball again. Port really have been starved of possession in this opening, in the opening moments of this one. And another penalty is going to go the way. Didn't really find his target, but got there eventually. Mooney across the front again to Redfern. Redfern does well. Mooney over to Augustus. Augustus will step back in. He of the football shorts. And another penalty. The Port coach won't like seeing the penalty count so far.
No, it's clear Port Adelaide is just being frustrated by the lack of possession and then trying to bend the rules a little bit to get the ball back. It seemed like a good contact in that last tackle though. But just dominating possession, Uni here. And they've chanced their arm running it out of their half, but now got the ideal result of the penalty now to clear.
Because it is a tough one, isn't it, where, you know, you're starved of possession. And I mean, we're not a huge amount into this game, but you can already see them starting to get a little bit nervous as Mooney just sends that one towards halfway. You can just see them starting to get a little bit nervous, and that's when those penalties creep in, because you start thinking, oh, just hands in ruck. And
I just want to make this tackle, so I might creep that offside line slightly, come around in the corner, counter ruck, trying to find an option to get the possession, and good line out here from Uni, started off.
Into midfield to Mooney, again off the front. It's something they've wanted to do, is get that ball wide and early. It's only so long that you can defend as well. Another short ball. Ralph will go in. Redfern looks to just go down the blind side for what it is. Ends up rolling forward. Little pick and drive to the near side, and again we've seen that, but the counter ruck from Port is good, and they get the penalty.
Very well done there from Port. They picked that time well to lack of support from Uni.
Good patience in the end.
And that was the one. That's the one the coach will be happy with. Just wait, have patience. They might be controlling possession, but if you pick your time, and they've done it very well, and it's a nice little psychological blow, a counter ruck.
So Williams just looks to nudge them down the line, as long as they can restart from where they are. They're still around the 10-metre line.
The first chance here to see the platform that Uni will put together.
It is a potentially very dangerous Port Adelaide backline. Just looking to my left, and it looks like Tui Vasa, and speaking of that, and they've lost it out. So Jenkins will have to go back and get it, but not strong. But talking about that backline, Tui Vasa, who is a almost automatic try scorer over the last couple of years, is still getting treatment to his hand. I think he's just got a little rip in his web in between his fingers, so
it'll always give you a little bit of a sting every time you catch the ball. But his Metcalf at 12 is a very handy ball runner.
Yeah, and I don't mind that Metcalf at 12 and Tui Vasa at 13, but they've just swapped that around with Falatolo, who's gone out to that far wing. Mooney again will look to turn Falatolo around, and does. Good bounce again. Seen a real resurgence of kicking fly halves in South Australian rugby.
It's a great quality to have. One I've probably lacked myself over the years. I was the attacking fly half, but the great boot of there of just turning teams around. You keep your forwards marching forward, and it keeps them feeling fresh that they're moving downfield, and for the opposition, they're turning around, walking back. It's all about a mental game with a good kicking game.
So Port Adelaide with the line out in a defensive position. Scowcroft does well to get it off the top. Hall to Williams. Then we do see the strong running of Metcalf. He finds a little bit of gap, looks for support. Does he have support? Just misses it. Reynolds after it, goes into touch first. It's just that moment where Metcalf just needed to take a breath.
There's two things there. Sensational line break. You really need those outside players just angling back in, so it doesn't have to be such a long pass after the break. Because the winger holding the sideline, Metcalf at Mach 10, screaming down the field, it puts him under a lot of pressure to throw a long pass to the wing.
Yeah, so this one will be Redfern. I think he's just gone with a goatee today, it looks like. His first real close look at him.
I hope he went to work on Monday with the two-face.
Well, I spoke to him about, I did speak to him about his facial hair. That one didn't look straight, but we will go again. Into midfield with Jenkins, who stopped in his tracks. So Uni will build again. See the familiar pick and drive that we saw last week. And again, just edging closer to the Port Adelaide try line. Bronlett will pick and drive, makes good yardage, Bronlett. You're always going to get that from Bron. Now they decide to go near side. Another miss pass to Augustus. Reynolds has got him. Mooney again. Again looking for width to Let. Let will take on Metcalf. And again they go, and Mooney decides to come back to this side. Enveloped though he's found. Counter-ruck territory, but Uni have done enough. Redfern will step into halfback. Port managed to snaffle it though. It's these changeover transitions we've talked about in the past. What can they do? They'll go to Lewis. Thought about the offload and just a loose carry. Big challenge from Chapman though. It is probably what we would expect from a game like today, where
just excellent, but not rolling away.
No,
the tackle was brilliant with no roll. but he's put a solid hit, and there's some sore ribs out there straight in front of us, I think, Dave.
That is a big hit, and you know, it is finals footy, no quarter asked, no quarter given. Yeah, just a little bit of a loose carry from Lewis, allowing the steal.
Yeah, when they get their possession, Port, they need to make sure they've got support, because still, you know, we've seen a brief moment with an excellent breakout from Metcalf, but otherwise the possession has just been fairly non-existent.
There's no consistency to it. You might see in the background of your picture as well the ambulance that's there. That's there, unfortunately, for Taj Heald, who, by all intents and purposes, is clean break of her right forearm. So that is, but any real injury at the moment is a season ender, but
that's a particularly bad one.
So Uni looked at trying to start a driving maul, and then we'll just pop it out to Isinyaki.
Stolen
That's
again.
Stolen as well. Starting to become a little bit of a feature of this Port Adelaide game so far. Back to Williams. Williams will just put it on the boot. Sends it out high, but did enough. And Port will have a line out just on their own 22. So we're approaching the quarter hour mark on the Wojtek scoreboard. 5-0 to Adelaide University. Another not straight. These errors are going to start to really worry the respective coaches. Set pieces.
Yeah, and for Uni, it's just preventing them getting that upper hand. Everything else is going well, and it looked like a good set piece play, that they had something planned out in the backs. Just a not straight, handing it back over. So if they can just ramp up the possession just that little extra 10%, this game is there to really grab by the scruff of the neck.
So Port Adelaide scrum comes out a little bit earlier than Shannon Hall wanted it. Has to send it on the bounce to Williams. Manages to get sorted out. Metcalf again. They're going to run from here. Good pace on the outside. Has Reynolds with him. Decides to show. Keep it on the island. Did well enough to keep his feet till his support got there. Hall to Scowcroft. Scowcroft will just straighten. Manages to get to ground. Oh, referee gets in the way. And they keep going.
Right smile.
Yeah, there was a little bit. I mean, be interested to see that again, to see whether he actually, I think he could have got out of his way. But if you have a free shot of a referee, you take it, don't you?
You do. Poor Graham Raymond caught in that rut. Just, wind back the clock, he was right in the middle again.
Just didn't get his base right, did he, Graham Raymond? Just shoulders over knees over toes, yeah. Graham. Step in the hoop, cheek to cheek.
Cheek to cheek, come on.
Hall to Williams, takes it standing, but gives it to Metcalf. It goes back inside to Reynolds. Metcalf will get it back. Now he can open the legs. Has Augustus to beat. Does beat Augustus. And Metcalf will go in.
What an absolute strike. Webber cracks the rugby ball beer and has a drink for the post-game celebration. And that was just, look at this. It's just a back, inside, outside. And it really does well to hold the ball in two hands initially before making the break.
That's a lovely transfer as well. Everything Metcalf had just done was good. Give him an A+ for that one. There's very little wrong with that. So 5 points apiece with the kick to come. And it's the first time that we've seen Port really get possession and keep possession.
That's right. The backs were saying to the forwards, just set us a little platform, and that's all we need.
Yeah, and we saw when they ran from their own end just how dangerous they can be.
Yep.
Taters and toast, which is fast becoming your catch cry.
Hopefully I can use it again today, Dave. I'll hold it on for the right moment that feels like it's the 400 metre.
I mean, we were closer with that one. Tuivasa will knock it over. So they will take a 2-point lead. But as we've seen from most of the games we've done up at Elizabeth so far in this final series, it's probably going to stay close for most of the afternoon.
It's a real credit to South Australian rugby comp at the moment. These games are, are right on the wire. The teams are well up for it. They're throwing everything at each other. Every team wants the flag.
I mean, you could throw a blanket over the top 5 of the Premier grade.
Yep.
Augustus tried to get there, didn't quite get there. Good leg drive is going to get him up to halfway. Got to get to ground though. Does eventually. The 5 doesn't have to move. Yep, and it's going to be. It's one of the worst things in the world. You see it collapse more, and you want the referees to get all of those players out of the way, and they don't have to go anywhere. A couple of Port players slow to get up. So it will be a uni scrum. Statistically, one of the hardest places to score from, the right-hand scrum.
Is it now?
Yeah. Because the halfback is in the defensive.
Yeah, you lose a bit with it at 10. You have to stand a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
To give a better angle to the halfback.
So a lot of these scrums have gone down early doors as well. I don't know whether it shouldn't be the deck. The deck looks absolutely outstanding at the moment.
It is a sprinter's deck today, and holding up very nice. It's very good warm conditions. There's that breeze again, going from...
Well, it's left to right as you look at your screen, which is different to what it was last week. It's a nicer breeze today. It's a warm breeze today. Last week it was a horrible biting wind.
Especially on that Sunday.
That one's popped out and Hall can get it. He'll just put it on the boot. How's the bounce? Bounce is working well for Port Adelaide. Going to put Augustus under a huge amount of pressure. He does very, very well. But penalty.
Called. There's a blocking there. Well done, Shannon Hall. And they might play quick.
Yeah, Williams is going to go. Williams does go. I mean, not sure that they were 10, but held up. 5-metre scrum. Of course, the NRC starts today, and that will be a goal line dropout from now on.
What's that? Explain that one to me, Dave.
So held up now in the NRC. There's 2 new rules that they are 2 new laws that they are definitely looking at in the NRC, which is if you're held up in goal, it's now a goal line dropout. It's not a 5-metre scrum.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, it's a weird one because I think Port do deserve the advantage in this one. But, if you defend really, really hard and hold them up over the line rather than...
So that's a big defensive win.
It's a big defensive win. And the other one is 50-22. So you kick from within your own 50 and bounce it in the 22, you get the lineup.
Okay, like the Rugby League 40-20.
Yeah, that's it exactly. So another little pick and drive. So Port Adelaide just getting closer and little knock on, so Adelaide will be able to get the scrum, and we are joined by Steph Redmond has joined us. We'll just see whether we can get your mic up and running, Steph. But Adelaide Uni will have a scrum in the shadows of their own posts. Redfern slow to get up. So just say something, Steph, see whether we got you. No, well, you're here, but we haven't got your microphone yet. So just try and communicate to our director. We've got 3 of us in here. So University with the scrum. 20 minutes gone. Mooney just happy to clear it away. Doesn't get a huge amount of distance on it. So just while we work on those ones, it's now Port have taken the other way, gone the other way now, Crossy, and they've really started to have the lion's share now.
There's a nice little momentum shift now, and I think that try from Metcalf just sent shockwaves through Uni, and it's having an impact and probably risen the whole team around it, and now's a good set for a driving maul.
Yeah, Chapman unchallenged, and Port will start to get going. Just broke slightly, and he's managed to find a little way through. Again inside the 5. Again a little bit messy, but it works, and then Port will just business-like, they will find their way over. And Port will get another one.
Great work from Port. That was good control. That's the backs did their spot earlier, now the forwards running over. There's a great little handover here. We'll see from
I've got you 3 minutes.
Just here, pop the 8, crashing over. And Port are right in this now. They've hit the lead with a kick to come.
So nearing 25 minutes. So apparently we should be able to hear you now. Oh yeah, we can hear you tapping. Welcome, Steph.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Hey, there he is. Another one who was involved in the reserve grade game.
Another tight fought contest over there, yes.
Well, it did look like it had gone to extra time from where I was sat.
Was Brighton came right out of the blocks initially, which was good to see. Just the momentum shift at the end.
Oh, that's a good kick from Tuivasa. If it holds, and it does.
Nice play of the wind.
Yeah, it didn't look pretty, but my God, it worked.
Points are points.
That's true. No pictures in scorebook, Steph.
Correct.
So Port just starting to put the stamp on this one. It's a good finish from Tuivasa. Interesting technique. Just pointed off up towards goaler.
Oh, that was never missing.
Nice.
Oh. So Port again, Lewis. Oh, sorry, that's not Lewis. There's Mitchell finding his way through. Hall at the back again. This time we'll find Scowcroft. He finds a little bit of gap, just shot the line somewhat.
Yep.
Must release there though.
Yeah.
That was very clear. Just enjoyed his run a little too much and wanted a bit more.
Always enjoys his runs, does Ollie Scowcroft. And Mooney again can push them down. Certainly not out of this contest yet.
No, well, their set piece, their structure uni is very good. You know, they look to grind out structurally, get the tries, and Port just have a lot of threats across the paddock. So look to see, you know, a pattern that they've worked on throughout the season again. Probably a crash in the middle from uni, and then build on that.
Uni will go to 2. Silby to Mooney. Uses Jenkins as a spoil and then goes man and ball to Ralph. He actually did very well, Tom Ralph. Just a little knock on from Tom. Just Matt Mooney just falling slightly down Tom Ralph's Christmas card list there.
Call from the ARs on that one, I think. I think that breeze just caught the ball at the end and it just floated forward a fraction.
Backwards out the hands is okay though. We could have a long chat about that one. Certainly between you two, I think.
Don't know what you're talking about, Dave.
That'll be good for the next match.
Yes, let's talk about it then.
Yeah.
So Port will win that scrum out to Williams.
Good solid scrum by Uni though.
Tuivasa has Metcalf on the run around. Tuivasa doesn't need him just yet.
Oh,
Reynolds and Metcalf just kind of got each other's way. And then Mooney is the beneficiary of that inside pass from Reynolds. Uni trying to work hard in the short side.
Good counter.
Again, messy, but counter up comes from Port, but side entry.
we just saw then the great breakout from Port, the strike out wide. It's a real threat that they have, and I think as this game goes on, we might see more.
Oh, it's going to go. He's going to let it try and let it go all the way, which it does eventually. So we'll come all the way back for the scrum.
Scrum on the halfway.
He'll need that short-term memory, Dave, on that one from Mooney. Just take that out of your mind. He does take those penalty kicks very quickly, looking to punish as quick as he can, but that time maybe rushed it a bit.
Here's a game of inches though, because he was not far at all from being absolutely spot on there. So actually it might be a good time to bring Steph into this one. We've seen a lot of these scrums go down. Steph, is there anything conditionally that is causing problems?
The pitch is top notch. It's quite hard underfoot, but looking at that, that's a
pretty solid.
solid platform.
Williams has Tuivasa on the short run. Then we'll go to Metcalf, who steps inside again. Jenkins had him, and Metcalf just threw it out the back, really in hope than anything else. Chapman also looks to offload. Hall. Little pick and go from Lamble. Port Adelaide looking to pick and drive now. Again, good yardage. Hall will look out onto that far side. Had numbers there.
Good fight in the tackle. Ball available again.
Another big, strong run. Port number 2 is certainly putting some work in.
They're using the A channel effectively with their forwards.
Again, just big and strong from Port. Hall to Williams, out to Metcalf again. Little show and go. Almost manages to get away, and again, hope more than anything else just lets it go. Tuivasa will pick and go, and Tuivasa will give it off the ground to Reynolds, and Reynolds will reach over. That young man can finish.
A sensational finish. I thought he'd take the inside step, but took the Route 1 power option.
He did, didn't he?
I think a number had fallen off his back the way he ran that one.
There was a front row side step, wasn't it, 5 metres out?
Straight through.
It's a good offload from Tuivasa.
Even took the step into him.
Yep. I think of all the things Tom Ralph thought he was going to do, that one probably wasn't.
Well,
it's a great ball off the ground though.
For all his attacking flair, Ralph, he's not the biggest player out there and biggest fullback.
But those boys tackle way above the weight, don't they?
But now it's a real big swing for Port Sway. That was a structural build-up. They waited, then used the strike weapons out wide with Metcalf.
Yeah, I mean, you're being hyper picky, but Sean Metcalf's support runners have to be running shorter lines on him.
After the break's made, that's a one-on-one opportunity with a fullback.
Yep.
You want those outside runners just to angle in to make it a simple short pass, and I think we might see that later in the game as well.
So Tuivasa looks to keep his 100% record intact. It didn't send it out far enough first, I don't think.
Nope.
So the flags will stay down.
The ball again sort of bananaing in the air there.
It's like Jonathan Thurston. Jonathan Thurston used to work on that.
Work and low, yep.
Yeah, certainly, yeah. It almost appears when Sean Metcalf makes a break, his players start running away from him.
Yeah.
But this is starting to look like a hill that Adelaide University have to climb now. Good deep restart.
A couple of facets of play going their own way, and I think their game will reignite.
Well, it'll be interesting to see. They'll be away from us, unfortunately, in this one, as Lamble will make his way through. Hall again looks short, goes short.
Port using that one-off runner is quite effective for them, making
Chapman.
yards every time.
And not dying in possession, giving the support runners enough time to get to them. Again, just
well done. Very well
manages
done.
to shake his way through, Leo.
Offload.
And gets the offload forward
marginal.
to Lamble.
There was absolutely nothing on then.
Nothing.
Shannon turned around, Shannon Hall, and said, "Who wants it?" And the big number 8, was that Dave?
Almost passed it to the ref.
The number 8 is Lie. He's just, I had an old rugby coach when I was at university, he used to say, run at spaces, not faces.
Yep.
And he just seems to be splitting those A and B defenders almost every time he gets the ball.
The Uni need just to bring in tighter on their pillars and posts, and their one-out defenders on those breakdowns. Porter using quick ball every time though, so they're scrambling for the defence as it is, and the holes are just opening up for them.
I mean, again though, if you try and narrow that defensively, you've got the likes of Tuivasa and Metcalf and Reynolds out there who are going to give you all sorts of issue. Mooney will look to turn them round again. Fullback is sitting deep. That one again is going to find its way in, but he's going to have to go. We've got the Taters.
Oh.
Nice couple of steps, shakes away from Augustus. Does well to keep his feet long enough to get his support there. The runners are taking a while to come back though. So Lie again will just settle it down. Lamble, he will pick and drive.
Oh, stripped in the tackle.
Yeah.
Never released him though.
Yeah, Jenkins doing everything he could to pretend that wasn't done by him.
Yep. We're seeing the reverse of how the game started, of the frustrations now of Uni not having possession. It's a huge tip of the scales of possession.
Is there anything more frustrating than playing rugby and not having possession? I think that was Murray who caught that. Our camera operator caught it, I think.
Or the camera.
No, they're just a little high one, just that over the shoulder, sort of half a seatbelt.
Yeah, the discipline from Port will surely be talked about by their coach at half time.
Oh, I reckon so. Just a bit more precision in their tackles, and they'll be right back on top of it.
Because they're putting a huge amount of pressure, aren't they, Red?
They're working them in close, and yeah, a couple of the Uni runners are running in and quite high, and the Port boys are coming up in their tackles, which has led to the last 3 penalties have all been slipping up. So they'll just talk about that at half time. I think just focus down a bit lower and not right up in your tackles, because the turnovers there are available for them.
Yep.
They make one-on-one tackles, and then they have 2 rushing in, try for that jackal, and it's been quite effective for them.
So 19 points to 8 as we essentially tick over into red time. Scowcroft up there for an absolute
nice
age,
ball.
but they still miss him. Again, the number 8 will come on the run around. This time Lewis.
Good yards on
Chapman,
that.
it's not Lewis.
Counter-ruck's good.
Yeah, just the entry.
Well, a chance for points again, and this will be a great
Well,
finish
that
to the
will be
half.
good, Axe, for
You would
them.
have to take the 3 from there.
Yep.
And they are going to, and Ralph will stride forward. So we are in time added on, just to make clear again to anybody watching at home. We don't stop the clock. There is time on in these games. Actually, I don't think there is in this one, is there?
Yeah, there is.
There is in this one?
It's a 40-minute half.
And then there's time on, or is
Time
it just
on.
40 minutes?
No, it's time on.
Yeah.
It's same as Premier Grade.
Yeah, okay. Because it always used to be that the ones before the Premier Grade were just 40 and 40, running clock.
Correct.
But we are in the hands of the referee now. 19 points to 8. With this kick to come. So 19 points to 11 is a better score for Uni as they go in.
Well, if Ralph puts this over, Port have just handed 6 points.
They have, through ill discipline, really.
Yep.
Just break down laziness, I think, is what they're going to, like we said.
Flags go up, and again, I will state the obvious. 19 points to 11 is better than 19 points to 8.
Did my look say it all day?
It did, yeah. Didn't have to say. Didn't have to say a word, Steph.
You know, don't give me an opportunity to have a crack at you.
Yeah.
You'll do it all by yourself.
I mean, what they would really like now is a try.
Yes, that'll take it to 1 point if they kick the conversion.
Oh, I could be a coach. Tuivasa sends it back.
Nice and deep with Nathan.
Oh, and they just want to go to half time. So there is half time. We will step out and take a break. We will come back. Port Adelaide leading this one 19 points to 11. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you again shortly. So welcome back as Port break the huddle. They are in the position that they want to be. You've got me second guessing everything now, Steph. They are leading this one, 19 points to 11. 8 points the difference. So beyond that converted try, so it's 2-score game for Adelaide University. You would think, we talked about this last week, you would think that the message that they got was just be where we need to be at the end of this game.
That was the beautiful line from their last final, wasn't it, last Saturday? Just be in the right position, and they were, and they capitalised on it. And see the result of good work if they can work hard, get the penalties like they were able to at the end of the half, and maybe they end up, being in that right position just through penalty goals.
Yeah, they can't let Port get away, because we were talking off air about there is a gap between Port and the other 4 in Premiership 2, and bridging that gap is very, very difficult. But Adelaide Uni have been okay so far. You won't want to see that early on.
And that's a good start, but has there been a fumble of the knock-on of the quick tap?
No, not. Still going with the penalty, yeah.
I think it was ball was taken behind him.
It was behind him, and then he ran into him.
And everybody else. And it was a shambles.
Yeah, a lot of energy wasted for NAFOR, really.
Yeah.
Speaking of that gap, I just feel Port Adelaide offer a little more variety than some of the teams just underneath, and so they come out here, they've got good attack threats in the forwards, some variations, and then out in the backs, it's just danger out there at the 12-13 channel.
They got some creative players out in their backs, right from 10 out.
That centre pairing, like we said, is probably one that most Premiership teams, they'd be knocking on the door in most of Premiership 1, wouldn't they?
Yep.
Put the players around them and away they go. Nice drive.
Really good drive from Port Adelaide, held up just short.
5 out.
Lots of room to that left-hand side, and there it is. And Mitchell will go over. He's put a shift in already, and that's one for the big fellas. Probably happy that the Saladistas didn't get their hands on that one, Steph.
Very much so. That was 5 metres out, mate.
Yeah.
If you can't score from there, then you're up against good defence. Not the start that Uni probably wanted. They were scrambling at their breakdown and just didn't realign themselves. There was a massive 15-metre gap on the blind side.
Yeah, and then it's big fella against winger, and you're always going to hedge your bets on that one, aren't you? You're always going to think you're
big
okay.
Fella on little fella.
Yep.
Always back the big man on the little man.
So Tuivasa right out on that far touchline now. The wind will probably help his kicking this way.
Seems to be a bit of a lull in the breeze at the minute. Hooked it again.
That one didn't get on its way again. It's almost like a helicopter crossing.
It's so unique. I have not seen really anything like it, a deliberate sort of attempt to put it on that, sideward spiral.
Yeah, and let it come back. So 24 points to 11.
Is that a back thing, that whole talkie?
Yeah, we'll talk. Yeah, I mean, we could be talking. We could have the same talk about throwing into the line-out stuff.
Yeah, no, we don't helicopter.
You'll see on scrum, Steph. I take my headphones off. It's all you.
Have a little rest.
We just check out and leave you at it. Leave you to it. Good restart from Mooney, but unfortunately, it's now going to find them.
Oh, wasted. It's still on.
It is still there. What's he got? He's got an outside runner, dragged down from behind from Augustus. Not quite the back path, but worked anyway. Now Port and their big forwards are going to start to work again. Hall will find Lamble. Lamble's eyes grew wide. He thought he'd found a way through. Hall now out to Chapman. Chapman manages to run around the outside. Then has to put his head down. Again, they're within 5. Options left and right. They decide to come right. Bounces in front of Williams. Williams does well. Takes on Ralph. Ralph did very well, but Williams reaches out and he will score. 2 tries in very, very quick succession for Port.
It's a perfect rugby. it built well through the forwards. Shannon Hall using his forward run as well, and then he was lucky with the old bounce pass.
I don't think he'll be thanked for it, but
Good strength.
Williams did very well.
Williams.
Uni just didn't have time to reset, readjust, and realign for the quick ball that Port ran at them. It was a nice little pickup.
Goes
Fraction
down.
high in the first
One
tackle,
go.
not held,
Well done.
bounced over.
Yeah, and we talked about it. We talked about it last week. There was a couple of occasions in that South versus Onkaparinga game where the ball going to ground actually assisted the attacking team, because the defence thought, "Oh, I've got half a chance here," and then your structure's gone.
You sort of take a half a breath and a half a step, not knowing where the ball's going to
Yep.
bounce. Being a rugby ball, because
You really do, yeah. You really think,
it's
it's
gone
gone to
half
ground.
a mind, don't you?
Yeah, I can have a little rest, but it's the number of tries that come out of the bounce pass, the poorly directed one that
That's
just
a better kick.
Oh,
Yeah.
there it is. Helicopters it through.
It's,
It looked a lot tidier off the boot, that
yeah.
one.
And just like that, they jump out to 31 points to 11. Now, Adelaide Uni really do need to arrest this momentum, otherwise this could turn into a very long afternoon. The other thing is as well, from a coaching point of view, at what point do both these sides start looking to next week and the future? Because for Port Adelaide, at what point do you start wrapping your players in cotton wool and saving them for the grand final?
I don't think Port Adelaide will.
No,
But then Adelaide University with the same thing. At what point, if it starts to get away from them, at what point then are they going to think, well, we've got another game next week?
I think if Port put on another quick couple of tries, Uni will start preserving players. That'd just be the smart thing to do, unless they run in a couple of tries themselves. Then they've got to, the next 10 minutes is probably going to be a telling time for both sides, really.
Especially for the big fellas.
Yep.
They had a big game last week. They're going to have another game next weekend, regardless of what happens in this one. Hall, Tuivasa, steps inside. Doesn't quite beat Jones. Did raise an interesting point. The number 12 this week is Jones and not Jenkins.
that's a really big out.
Oh, just off the knees of Scowcroft.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to know where Jenkins is this week. He was phenomenal last Saturday.
He was really good last week.
And that was a strike player that Uni had in the backs that they're missing today. And they're
Obviously, defensively, he's fairly big as well, and it certainly would have been a mouth-watering contest watching
Metcalf and Jenkins.
Metcalf and Jenkins square off against each other.
Solid scrum by Uni.
Yeah, Mooney again will drop it inside and
Well contained.
did very well. So Lie again, showing that he's got bits in attack and defence. Now Adelaide Uni, they just, again, there's that slowness from them.
That pause post pick and go. There's a break made, and then they just almost deliberately slow it down. I'd pick up the pace a bit.
Mooney to Let. Let will bounce off the first one. Second one gets him. Tom Ralph with the big clean out.
Right now, keep that pace going, Uni.
Yeah.
It's an unlucky call, that one. Player going down, he's coming in over the shoulder, straight in on the ball, but
The directive
anything over the
came
shoulder
out.
they call nowadays?
Anything on the head and neck, it's done.
they're down midway, 22-10.
They need points here, Adelaide University.
They do, and they need them quickly, and they need them in a bunch as well, really. They need to get some momentum going. Just talking about the gap. So the set piece from Uni has been good today. And again,
Yep, clinical.
Mooney made to wait for it. Then we'll go to Ralph. Ralph sends it outside, and Tuivasa was alive to it. And it looks like he will stroll in untouched underneath the posts. Good finish from him as well. We do like the dive.
Oh, look, it was a good dive. It was too easy. It was late in the second half that Tuivasa rattled Ralph, and then had a look, I think, of him then and thought, I'll pass this. And he's read it perfectly. I'm not sure why they have Ralph attacking just in that channel there.
Oh, that's a wonderful intercept. I tell you what.
Beautiful. Yep.
It's well read.
That's good from Tuivasa.
He got in that spot and just hung out in the Uni back line. Said, "I'll be your outside player. Give it to me."
Just stuck out a big left paw, didn't he?
Yeah, the pass was incredibly deliberate, and it was well read.
Yeah, because normally when there's an intercept, you kind of see that as he'll knock that one over for two. You kind of see, and you kind of like hold your breath as it comes. But there was no kind of warning, because Tuivasa looked like he was just in a defensive position.
Yep.
And then he stuck that long left arm out.
I understand Uni wanted a strike there, wanted to score off first phase, but they haven't been a team able to score off first phase. It needed that crash ball midfield, try and build on it, rather than
Another couple of phases,
yep.
Drag a couple of Port players in, give yourself a bit more space. Yeah.
Because that outside backs battle, Porter hands down all over it. Yep.
Yeah, 38 points to 11 on the 50-minute mark, and it is starting to look like it's a bridge too far today for Adelaide University. They're just having a little bit of an inquest. They're waiting for. Oh, okay. So I did wonder. I was looking for an injured player. It would appear that it's the referee.
Graham Raymond.
Just done a hammy.
Nicknamed Hammer for the number of times he does his hamstring.
So there will be a change.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Ginger on the hammy, isn't he?
I'm just going to see who's going where. It looks like Phil Jones is going to go into the middle.
Yeah, it was the part of that ended Graham's rugby career was the hamstring, and the unfortunate
Still hampering him.
Yes, the unfortunate nickname of Hammer. Although it depends how he tries to use it, but those who know him well know it's all about blowing that hamstring.
Right. See, that's the thing though. When Tuivasa makes that break, just conserve yourself. Don't push yourself, Hammer.
Don't chase that.
No, just let it go. Everyone knows it's okay. Save your legs.
Yep.
Save it. Yeah. Next week's another week.
Yeah. Well, we are making light of it, but we hope he's okay. So it gives the players a chance to just stop and take stock. Really, I'm not sure whether.
Just jumping in, it's absolutely ideal for Port Adelaide. They'll get their breath, their tails are up, they'll suck it in and be perfect, I think. I actually feel off this little break, it's going to really blow out.
I think so as well. They won't be saying too much in there. They'll just keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. It's let's not stop what we're doing. Uni will be focusing on first up tackles, setting their line, having their defensive line, not shooting players, because Port will take the hole every time.
Well, yeah, and it's been a thing with Port Adelaide today, is that defensively Uni just haven't been able to answer the question. If they do come tight and try and stop those big forward runners, then
ball goes
out wide is getting them. And if they do
Danger.
try and spread and stay out wide and dodge that, then we see what we've seen in the last couple, which is Port just being strong. And it's always hard, and I will put my hands up now, because Port have been playing well at this level, and it does feel like we're talking about Port, and as an ex-Port boy I tend to get some interesting comments after games like today, but Port are just playing well. There's not a lot that Adelaide University can do. We haven't seen them with a huge amount of ball in hand so far, so it's difficult to talk too much about Uni today.
Yeah, well, I think we're all sort of hoping to see Uni rally now and try and bring it back, just because they're getting the wood over them here. I think there's a significant size difference across the board for the Port against Uni, you know, we're talking backs and forwards.
Yeah.
And that, you know, when you get deep into the second half, and that becomes a major factor as well.
And I think it's Port are in a really interesting position. I think if you look at it now, we can probably say that we have a top 5, a definite top 5 now, and you can probably add Souths into that now. Whether that stays next year, because we know the vagaries of the off season can do huge amounts of good and huge amounts of damage, but certainly at the end of this year you can say we've got a top 5. Port I don't think are ready just yet to step up into that next level, but they're probably a little too good for this level.
They're right on the fringe.
Yeah.
I don't think they're that far away. Another couple of players. And a bit of commitment to training, and I think Port Adelaide will actually take themselves to that next level.
But that's where this 2-tier competition is probably it's really good for Port Adelaide, because it's going to make the club a place that you want to be. They won Division 2 and Division 2 reserves last year. They're probably going to do it again this year. It makes the club a good place to be.
That's everything. You need wins. You need wins to
attract
create,
the players,
and create a culture around it. So, you know, falling back into this division Premier 1, but now, you know, shining out here. You know, I think if things stay the way they are, they'll be having a bit of a party back there at Riverside Oval tonight.
Yeah, and well, then you get into the Souths mode, which is where you take a massive win from this season, and you're strong enough and you've been together for long enough for you to be okay with having a season where you go out in straight sets, essentially. You go out in that first round, they're okay. They'll come back and do it again, and that South side is really starting to blossom and mature.
The Souths have put some great rugby together this year.
Really good rugby.
They've beaten top tier teams.
Yep.
Just through their sheer determination on it. They've been exciting. They've had some great players, and they've strung it together quite well. Nice
Uni
breakout
making
off
good
the
yards down that far side. The number 8 working hard, and
just bundled into
just
touch.
bundled. Yeah, just didn't quite finish it off. Number 8 is low for Adelaide University.
His run meters have been very high,
Yeah.
low. He's put in a real big shift today.
High and low.
High and low,
Very
yes.
good.
Killing me, Dave.
I don't well. So Port line up within their own 22.
Overthrown,
Yeah.
and well fielded in the slips by Low again.
Now they're just going to look again.
Another high tackle.
Another high one.
That was just lazy.
Yeah.
I think they've just got to tap and go here, Uni.
Yep.
Oh, he's just going to put his nose back into
Well,
place.
his line out is. The lineouts have been good enough, but in that point, Steph, we'll come to you for that one. Got a defensive lineup within your own 22. Why aren't you just hitting your number 2 banker?
I think that's where they were aiming, but the ball just carried on sailing. 2 went up, and it just went over the back. It wasn't. I don't think a tricky shot or anything. I think it was just a missed ball.
Because I really would have liked to have seen Port just go to the banker and then exit play from there.
Yeah, they would have. If they'd taken that, I reckon it would have been a midfield crash, a reset, and then pump it down the other end.
Yeah, which I think is that level of rugby maturity that you want to see, especially from a team that, you know, again, can run away with this if they wanted to.
It's just them developing as a team, I think, making smart decisions when they're there to be made, and well, we've seen them numerous times throughout this.
Oh, it's a good steal though.
Just taking the opportunist route.
Oh, they needed that, and
Uni slipping into a high tackle.
and Port.
Another one. I mean, the number of high tackles that we've seen over the season, really. And I know that there's been this directive that we're looking after, you know, any contact.
Yep.
Head and neck is no good, but just seems to be too many too. Ivasa
Ball
not
in.
out.
not got it. So Augustus is
Centre.
going to get to go and have a run. Oh, Ralph again gets man and ball.
Oh,
And the little knock on. Can Port do anything with this? Metcalf looks for a gap. Just gets those big
Good leg
Irish
drive.
legs of his going and gets to ground. It's an interesting fight on the floor between those two. Then a short ball to Lea, and again, just big old-fashioned back row work from him. Just take a breath. Hall will find Lamble. Little bit isolated, gets to ground though.
Tackle, ball available, all kicks through.
Hall again to Chapman. Chapman,
Shows.
just another shoot, then round the back to Williams. Williams trying to shake away. Can't quite get there. Reynolds. Then they will go out again, and over they will go. And that all comes from a line out deep in their own half, which they stole.
Stolen, then it was a kick for touch, which didn't make touch. An attempt of counter-attack here, but just
solid defense.
Well, this is, I mean, this is the one that
An
you
ugly
kind of
ball
hold your breath.
and
Up
a
in the air,
50-50
bobbled, the whole lot.
and then they got in the flow and the great
That's a lovely ball.
wraparound,
and the
wasn't it?
great offload game here that Port's well known for.
And I think it's Ugle at the end will be the beneficiary. And he puts it all the way out there on the touchline for Tuivasa to knock over.
Well, I think I feel that was the icing on the cake, that one.
Yeah, yeah. If we haven't put a fork in it, it's ready. When the fork is in the hand. So Tuivasa right on the sideline. Will set himself and get himself ready. Sends it on the way. The assistants didn't move, which is either a good sign or a bad sign.
You just pushed it across the face, I think.
Yeah, 43 points to 11 as we just tick over an hour on the Wojtek scoreboard. And, you know, they're one try away from the 50, and you would think it's probably too much at the moment for Adelaide Uni. So do thoughts start creeping towards next week now? Do they get Jenkins back?
Oh.
Mooney again just doesn't quite get there.
Yeah, I'll certainly be hoping they do.
Yeah.
That strike player in the back line that they're just missing today, even attempt that counter attack earlier, it just didn't look threatening, and it was wiped out.
Yeah,
Turnover.
Porter shutting them down readily. See the shoulders of Uni just starting to drop a fraction. They need to, and a little bit of a spark just up themselves again.
So a horribly dangerous position for Adelaide University. Port have split 3 and 3. Tuivasa and Ugle over on this side.
Eight's got to go.
Come
doesn't
this
he?
way to
Yeah.
Tuivasa. 8.
Oh, he's just going to go. He beats the first one and then runs through Ralph. Then a third one. Just big and strong, handed it over to Chapman, and Chapman
Just
couldn't bring it in.
Gee, Steph, as a forward, you would have enjoyed watching that.
Oh.
That was.
as a back crossy, you would have hated seeing it
Oh,
right
yeah. Is there
Give it to
anything,
Tuivasa, he's wide open.
is there anything worse than seeing a big untethered back rower running at you?
Give it to the 13 or the 8. He's going to slow down in a minute.
I've got slide.
That's right. How on earth did he get in my channel? How has this become my problem?
Where were you all?
Yeah.
Big strong run. I'll tell you what. Lea has certainly put a marker down for best on ground in this one. He's been absolutely damaging.
He's been everywhere. He pops up in breakdowns, and his tackling's been sensational.
If we get to see it again, his ability to maintain his feet then. There was several attempts to sling him to the ground that he just managed to push that leading foot out to push his balance back up again.
Put himself forward. Yep. Weight forward again, wasn't it?
And it wasn't even as if it was a case of they were falling off him because it was weak tackles. He was just running through them.
Yep, it was a great leg drive. I think he was in the end was looking for another player to run over.
Yeah, would have come back.
Yeah. No, the other way. No, I haven't run over this bloke yet. No, it was a great run.
So Adelaide University with a scrum deep inside their own 22. This is running rugby territory now, though, unfortunately for them.
Scrum down. Referee's got the arm up.
Puts it over. It's going to go to Uni. Just see whether we can see the signal. Yeah, pulling it down. It's over on that far side. We've seen a couple go down today.
The dark arts of the front row.
Yeah.
The referee's guess.
So there looks like there's going to be a change after this goes into touch, but Gall has had a real tough day in that front row. That one will go out. This is everyone this time. So there is going to be a change, and that's Ewan Cameron's going to come on, and Gall will go. He does look a bit proppy.
Gingerly to the sideline, I think we'll call that one.
Yeah, so just trying to work out what that change is going to be. It looks like Scowcroft has gone into 2. Redfern will put the ball in. As we've discussed, very much more sensible facial hair this week.
Disappointing to see.
Yeah, it's terrible, isn't it?
Oh, lovely pickup.
Well, that is a great pickup. He's just trying to find a little bit of room.
There is
Can't
no
quite.
room
He runs
there.
into the human wall that is Metcalf. Metcalf has
Stolen
hands on as well. It is going to come back Port way. Very well done, Sean Metcalf.
All rights to that one and executed it cleanly.
Chapman. The big fellas line up over on that far side. First one to put his hand up is Lewis. Tuivasa comes late and steps. Looks to offload. I think that came off a uni boot. So it's
We are playing on, yep.
Yeah, it's all good.
It's all backwards.
Ball.
And we've got into that.
Oh, that one's not.
Marginally forward, I'd say, for that one.
Do well to call that one backwards out the hand, wouldn't you?
Just about to say we're getting into that Port free-flowing, express yourself style of rugby, which is very entertaining to watch.
And incredibly hard to defend.
Yes. Chaos rugby.
Yep.
Yeah.
If they don't know what you're doing, what chance have you got?
I think it's called the scattergun effect.
Something will stick.
Yeah. We've got to throw everything at it.
Yep. Or it's the 43-11 approach. Let's have a bit of fun, guys.
Yeah,
Let's try that move that we thought we'd never have to try.
Exactly. Yep.
Simon Redfern, just going back to his facial hair, which is a talking point, he's a nurse, so he has to be sensible. So when he gets a chance to grow it and grow it stupidly, he does.
Sounds familiar.
Yes. Out to this near side, a late one. He didn't get away with it, and he's going to talk to him. I just saw it in the corner of my eye. It's late, and generally when people fly that far, there's generally not many arms in it. Yeah, it is late, and there's no arms. I just saw on my personal replay. Tell you what, if he stays with just the talking to, he's done well.
Just the talking to.
Yeah, he's done well. By all rights, should be a yellow.
Oh, yeah, and he's put in such a defensive effort today, Metcalf. The uni backline is really out of answers, and that could stay in.
Oh, Mooney's missed it. And they will get to counter-attack. Just about beats the first one, and then the clean out comes. Gone forward though. Penalty. Hands. Hall wants to go. And the scattergun has been unholstered. Chapman. And the offload to Leah. He deserves one. Keep going, young man. Go and score. Go and get one, and he does.
Great off the shoulder running. Great support. Try rewarded.
Yep.
Yeah, and they will probably find the 50 points. They'll hit the half century.
Just have a look. There's a delicious offload here.
It's really good from Chapman.
Look at that. Right out of his pocket. Ball to the middle of the chest. Scrambling defence from Uni. Just couldn't quite shut him down.
Again, the yardage from Leo is...
Here it is here. Front on view. Look at that. Perfect. Oh, lovely step off the left.
I like the fact that he
And
had a
goose.
look. He's got all sorts going
He's
on.
pulling all the tricks out of the bag.
So big, long stride, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, it is.
Like a baby giraffe.
Very hard to get all legs
Isn't
in the
that more
tackle.
you, Dave?
Yeah,
Yeah, no, shush.
Very good, Red.
He's a little bit more solid.
Yeah, that's true. Strong wind would finish me off. I mean,
Most days.
yeah, not anymore though. Now I've retired, I seem to have bulked up a bit.
How many times have you retired?
Come
though?
on, mate. I played against you at the start of the season.
I've retired again. I retire at least once a week.
Yeah, clearly. Oh, Dave, I thought you'd retired. Oh,
Tuivasa! Oh, very gnarly.
just one more game.
Yeah, it's hard to say no, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
So that one. No. The pressure, it would appear, from Augustus was enough. 47 points to 11. We'd be surprised now with 70 minutes gone if both sides don't start ringing the changes, but the very dangerous Lie is going to go on a run again. Steps Augustus backwards initially and just runs through again.
It looks like a little bit of movement up and down on both benches.
So Port, again, just going back into sensible rugby. They are choosing their times when to go and when not to. Chapman again will carry forward. Williams to Metcalf.
Oh.
Metcalf will find a gap on the outside. One-on-one with Ralph, and he beats him. And Metcalf will score his second of the game and push Port well over the 50 now.
That was an electric finish from Metcalf. So impressive to watch at full flight.
Pace onto the ball, wasn't it? Just exploded off the... Wait for the defence to come up and then bang, went.
Yeah, and I'd like to see more of that from him, to just trust his pace.
Yep.
When you're one-on-one, trust that you're going to beat that guy.
Because always, it's going to be hard to bring down at that pace, so he'll always have an opportunity to make the offload as well.
Yeah.
If this tackle was made, the offload would still be available.
That's a 5-metre channel that he's working in, and he's finished very, very well. I'd love to see more of that from him. Like, to trust his own pace, to trust his own power. Just go. And now I think we are likely to see some changes, and we are.
Yep.
Dean Ridley's going to make his way onto the field.
Dynamic Dino.
Yeah, he'll replace Rowe. He'll be loving the fact that he's got himself onto a live stream. Tuivasa.
Nope.
It's not coming back.
Starting to, but not enough there.
So 55 points to 11. Less than 10 minutes to go in this one. Hall's come off as well. So there's Reynolds, I think it's a Casey Reynolds, that one, has gone into half-back.
Yeah, Hall put in a great shift throughout the game, really directed the forwards well, then ignited the backs at the right time.
He is, and I mean this in entirely the right way, he's an extra back rower, Shannon Hall. Didn't have to do much of it today, but can.
Yep. And has in the past, I think.
He played a few seasons.
Yeah, he played a couple of years at
Yep.
half-back, and then has been given a second go at it. Reynolds will find Chapman. Chapman manages to bulldoze his way into university territory again. Lamble takes on Mooney. Not many winners in that competition. Williams flat to Tuivasa, then an inside ball. Lovely inside ball. Rolf finds himself one-on-one again and again. He loses out, and Port now really starting to stretch away.
Well, the sun might be shining, but you should have brought the umbrellas because it's raining tries at the moment.
It's very good. Very, very good, Crossy.
Thank you, fellas.
Set straight out of Dave Webb's
I know, right?
play book of analogies.
Learning from the
That's
best.
a lovely weighted inside ball, though, from
It was a
Tuivasa.
great line. Just about needs to replace the divot for where he come off that foot.
It shows how tired Uni is to, after this bump, not being able to contain him afterwards. Just no one left.
Everyone wrong-footed,
Yeah.
hitting the wrong side of the field. Had the smarts to just keep going back towards the sticks, though.
So as we sort of get towards the final 5 minutes in this one, implications of this. Port now another weekend off, and they will go and face, well, we're a mile away from that. They're in the grand final. They're in the grand final on the 14th. University will go and play next week on the Sunday.
Yep.
Against the winner of tomorrow's game, which is Elizabeth and Woodville, off the top of my head. So the winner of Elizabeth and Woodville will play University on the 8th.
Correct.
So, yeah, we've done okay. And that's a really good kick from Mooney. Driven hard at Ridley, but he's picked it up. Lambull again, we'll have a look. Lewis just keeps those legs going. Reynolds will find Lambull. Comes off a long run.
Good leg drive into the tackle. They're just making yards every time they hit
They're just
contact.
enjoying themselves right now.
Oh, show it,
Little
show
show
it,
on the inside, and now he's still going, but the crossing.
Unlucky.
Yeah.
Had very little impact on the game. Tap and go, have a run, Uni.
I don't mind, I mean, I don't mind to see them just keep going with game plan, but it's queuing the rack time now, isn't it?
It's not a style that they have up their sleeve.
It's not.
Yep.
But I think that their forwards would rumble it up, reset it, and it'd still be phase play for backs after that. And it'd suck in the port forwards.
Yeah, not even on the bench, Jenkins. So hopefully that's not an injury. Hopefully he'll be okay for next week.
He's probably got a wedding on or something.
Who gets married in September?
Oh, some people
August,
do.
September,
That'll be the fine at the end of the season.
The blokes never have a say. You should know that.
Oh no, I have my say.
Yeah, nobody listens.
I gave a window.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Any day you like.
Between December and March.
And then you'll just do as you're told.
No, we went in February.
Oh, nice.
We went February.
Nice. Not too hot, hopefully.
No. Middle ball off the line, looks good.
Tidy
Jones
line out.
to Mooney. The set piece has been good. That didn't quite work. And Reynolds will get it back. Isanyaki just trying to claw it in desperately. You never quite got there.
That was just slow motion and the ball was back.
Didn't Ralph throwing himself at it. Now Ugle has got a little bit of space. Then we'll find Tuivasa. Tuivasa will stride on the outside.
He'll have the wheels all day for that
Tuivasa will
one.
score again.
All game we've seen the line out from Uni has been perfect. It's been on the money.
It has.
The forwards are doing their bit. But what happens after that?
They're just trying to push it now, though.
Yeah.
You can see why. They've got to go now.
I think the distance of the pass was just the bit too much effort required for that one, and it fell short. But their line-out's been exceptional all day. It's been tidy.
Their set piece has been very, very good all day.
Well drilled.
Yeah, and the counter-attacking rugby from Port has been very, very good. So, well-deserved week off for them next week.
Yeah, the smiles all around for the Port side. They've been happy with their workload today.
It's business as usual. It's very business-like, isn't it? I don't mind that. You know, I'd like to see the same. Especially tomorrow is a different kettle of fish. There's a huge amount of adrenaline that goes into tomorrow because it's win or go home.
Yep.
But today's games, just you've got to get through them, and if you're winning it, don't jump up and down and celebrate because you've only done a third of the journey. Well, we thought about it.
You have indeed, but it's just a huge advantage to go straight into the grand final, knowing that your opposition is also going to play on the following Sunday with only one less day turnaround.
Yeah, and every single game that we've seen in those elimination ones are just absolute wars of attrition.
It's a brutal day next Sunday.
Yeah.
Yep. Like there's.
Yeah, it's so close, but so far.
It's sheep stations all day for both sides. They've both grafted hard to get there, and they're playing like it's their last game of the season.
Well, yeah.
And then for the victors, they've got to back it up in 6 days' time.
Metcalf again. Now he will step inside and get away again. Starts to look. Has his options.
I thought so as well, unfortunately.
I just pressed the pause button. Did well to keep up with it, to be honest, Mr. Ridley. See whether we get any angle on this one.
He's such a good play. It's maybe a micro element of his game. Even the player angling in here, like we talked about in the first half, is good. But
take him on. Just take him on. You're one-on-one. You've got more room than you had last time.
I reckon one more
Take him on.
One more right foot step and he would have been there.
Making the pass is the right option, I believe.
Yeah, I get, it's a really weird thing to say.
Yeah.
Be more selfish. But he's a finisher. He is a finisher.
He probably would have been able to finish that again.
That one goes down as well.
Ball made it to the back. Let's go.
Yeah, they play on.
Yep.
Well, I don't mind that.
No, it's the right ball.
The underpant
Two of
tackle
us
there.
are just holding on for grim death and actually managing to drag him down. It's that sacrifice tackle that we've seen.
Oh, no hands in there.
Yeah, too tempting, isn't it? It's far too tempting, that, isn't it?
Well, he came through. Nobody was against him. He put his hands on the ground and the ball just happened to be there while he was trying to regain his composure.
Hardest thing in the world to leave that alone at that point, isn't it?
Isn't it? It's like, ooh.
There it is.
Something shiny.
If I pick this up, no one will notice.
Yeah. No. The ref hasn't said don't touch it at all.
Number 6 is a real struggle. He was up, then went down again.
Possible cramp or a corky setting in.
Today is cramp day, isn't it?
Well, we've already lost one referee.
Must stay hydrated, players.
It is, and we'll take this moment. The NRC is coming next weekend. We'll be at Souths on the Saturday, and whenever spoken to players who've come and played, and that they're used to playing sort of East Coast rugby and even Melbourne, they find one of the hardest things when they get to South Australia is just how dry it is. Like they have to hydrate more than usual when they come in because there's just nothing. It is so arid here. So even like the professional rugby players do struggle with these conditions.
There's only a handful of pitches around that aren't hard pitches to play on.
I don't think there's a soft one at the minute. Barossa maybe a little bit.
Yeah, but
Unis is a little.
But Unis, like after this weekend, Unis
it'll be
like a brick.
Yeah.
Like a stucco brick, it'll be out there.
They're all the same, and Burnside is another one that gets a bit messy when it rains. But the week after it's rained, you're back to
it's like sandpaper.
Absolutely.
Out there. It's horrendous.
Yeah.
Those cricket pitches.
That's it. You're looking at just one big cricket pitch out there.
Yep.
But Dry Creek,
reclaim cricket pitch.
Yeah.
Dry Creek. No, well, they can't reclaim it. That's part of the problem. Kensington Cricket Club will not get rid of that one.
No, I think it's the swamp mud they used to start with. Now get it up. Let's have a... Yes, can't go early in the line out, boys. Technically should have been a free kick, but...
It's a fair question. So we'll just reset and Redfern will go again. Oh, just stolen again. Scowcroft keeps his legs going. Looks like he's going to get bundled into touch and does. So we are in red time again.
Yeah, that's replacement of the referees.
We could be here till next Wednesday then. Be a fair old stoppage. I don't think it's going to help anybody just to keep going for another 5 minutes.
I don't think it's going to impact on the final result. No.
There's no percentages in play.
If anything, just for Uni to finish off with something nice, build a few phases. If they can get the phase count up into the teens, and then just be able to go, okay, what we did at the end there is what we need. A great line out.
And let's carry on with it next week.
Mooney out the back.
Oh, just about.
He was there again. Augustus now has a little bit of space, then goes out to Ralph. Ralph comes back inside. Tuivasa gets him again. Mooney, flat ball, has Redfern outside him. Now he has support runner. Now they've got some space. Kick back on the inside. Metcalf nonchalantly takes it with one hand, then fends him away, and then clears.
Oh, wow.
Take a bow, Sean Metcalf.
He'll enjoy watching that on the replay
It is
tomorrow morning.
Straight to the pool room, that one.
Yeah.
Highlight reel number one.
That's a good one, that.
Just didn't need to be kicked. That was, I felt they started to build something there.
He was
Uni.
isolated though.
Yeah. Just a hard step back in and find some friends.
or even on the toe rather than over the top would have been the better option.
Yep. Another opportunity here just to put something together and finish the game off nicely.
Sure, nearly missed, but yeah.
So as the confidence has fallen, the chinks in the armour of the uni forwards, I think, are creeping in as they're feeling this one is well and truly gone for them.
So you would say that, you know, that's a tough game. It's a big one to try and get yourself up from as well. They obviously will have a keen eye on tomorrow and see who they'll be taking on tomorrow.
I think their focus is just going to have to be on their first up defence. I think that's where they'll start. Their main concentration will be, we've got to shut down and out the middle. They get through next week and they know they're back up against Port Adelaide again, and they see what they've done to them today.
Yeah, there's lots to analyse though.
There is.
Tuivasa, short line, steps the first one. Now he's got a little bit of room in and out, and then out again. Now he'll put the foot to the floor and he'll finish. That's a good way to get your hat trick, young man.
Brilliant try, and you called it, Steph. The inability to that first line defence. You know, I felt that was cooking and was just about to happen. And
as we watch it on the replay, one arm, two arms,
and then he just turned him around.
With a player like that, you cannot do an arm tackle. You've got to get your shoulder on.
Yeah, and then it just in and out, and the poor defender, like,
it's just
got nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have been lost on that head movement as well. The hair sold it.
The great hair as well, yeah.
It's a 3 foot shift to the left and the right with the hair movement.
Yeah, I've seen our camera operator Debbie mature though, because she stayed with him all the way. Well done, Debbie. He's going to look to convert his own try. They're right in front of us.
You would just about have to say that'd be time, wouldn't you?
Well, it was a long old break for the change of the referee. It was at least sort of 10 minutes, so we could see a little bit more. Nice. That one looks like it's going to come round. Has it got the legs? Yes, it has. Port bench rises for him, and that will do it. An absolutely dominant display from the men from Riverside Oval. 74 points to 11. That one will finish. Port Adelaide get another week off.
Well, that was a clinic, and they've earned the week off.
Certainly have. There was plenty of positives for both sides out of that game, though.
So Adelaide University will take on the winner of Woodville and Elizabeth. That will happen tomorrow. Hang around. We will be right back shortly for the qualifying final for the Coopers Premier Grade with Old Collegians taking on Brighton.